Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Cool Teacher back again. Back to solve some more problems for you. And this time what we're going to look at is solving proportion. So let me go ahead and get a proportion up here for you. And if you have been working with proportions, which I'm sure you have, that's why you're on this video. Proportion basically looks like two fractions that are equal to each other. So let's go ahead and get 5/9 equals 15 over x. Alright, so looking at this, I see 5/9, I see 15 over x. And I'm sure you're probably looking at this like, how am I even supposed to do this? Alright, now what we're doing here to solve this is we actually cross multiply. That's going to be our first step. Okay, and cross multiplying is similar to cross simplifying because we're going from the denominator of one side to the numerator of the other side. But what we're doing is actually multiplying those two numbers. We're not dividing them by anything. We're multiplying 5 times x and 15 times 9. 9 times 15, however you want to say it. Remember, multiplication is commutative, so I can say it however I want to, and I'll get the same answer. Alright, so some of you that are doing this, you have your calculators close by, and if you do, it'll make it easier for you to go ahead and solve it. If you don't, you'll just have to solve it on paper. So for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator. So I know that 5 times x is going to give me, which I'll just basically show you the steps. This is 5 times x equals, wait, 5 times x equals 9 times 15. If you guys are wondering what these parentheses are, parentheses of numbers right next to each other, that's another way to show multiplication. Alright, so what is 5 times x? 5 times x is going to give me 5x equals, and I have 9 times 15. 9 times 15 is going to give me 135. Okay, so I've basically turned a proportion, which is two fractions that are equal to one another, okay, into a one-step equation. Now, you've done equations before, and if you're unable how to solve an equation, I'll go ahead and link a video up below so you can go ahead and check back to how to solve equations. But we're going to go ahead and get this solved now. So we basically have 5x equals 135. Well, how do I go ahead and get to my answer? I want to get the x by itself. So I have to go ahead and do the inverse operation on the side with the variable, being the x. So I'm going to have to divide this by 5, and whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So basically what I get is 5x divided by 5 and 135 divided by 5. When I go ahead and do 5x divided by 5, what I'm going to get here is, you guessed it, 1x, but I don't put the 1, I just put the x, equals, and 135 divided by 5 is going to give me, anybody guessed it? Anybody guessed it? It is going to be 27. So my answer is x equaling 27. Alright, so basically down here, this should be 27. This x right here should be 27. Alright, now that's how you solve each and every proportion. You can go ahead and do it that way. Okay, I'm going to show you a quick method. So if you have some good number sense, I'm going to do that same problem, but I'm going to use the scaling method. Okay, now when I show you this, scaling doesn't work for every single problem like how this method that I just did on the left does. Okay, this method I just showed you on the left works for every single proportion problem you are going to solve. All right, What I'm going to show you now is, if you're good with your numbers, a quick way to go ahead and get to your answer. All right. So what we're going to go ahead and do here is, we have the same problem. I know you're probably wondering, well, what's he going to do? He already solved it. Well, like I said, you have a whole bunch of problems in front of you. There's some that you could do a little bit quicker than others using the scaling method. Now, how can we do that? First, I'm going to look at since I have two numbers in my numerator, sometimes it'll be 2 in the denominator. It all depends. Since I have two numbers in the numerator, I see 5 and I see 15. Can I get 5 to be 15 by doing any mathematical operation? I'm using multiplication or division because it's a proportion. Can't add or subtract. Yes, I can do 5 times 3. 5 times 3 gives me 15, right? Whatever I do in my numerator, do to my denominator. Obviously, if it was denominator to numerator, it would be the same thing. What's 9 times 3? 9 times 3 is going to give me 27. And as you can see, that's the same answer that I have over here, 27. All right. I'm going to say this once again. Scaling is not going to work with every single problem. If you can recognize your numbers, then scaling will work. If you do not recognize the numbers, please go ahead and do the method on the left that I just showed you. All right. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and hit me down below. Like, subscribe, and share this video with whoever you would like. All right. This is TheCoolTeacher. This is how to do proportions, and I'm out.